London did not reset after the 1600s. It multiplied. Fire, plague, and medieval limits failed to slow it. They only prepared it. Now, in the 1700s, the city enters a more dangerous phase. The river still commands movement, but its traffic explodes. The old walls still exist, but they now imprison growth instead of protecting it. Architecture becomes disciplined. Society becomes stratified. Commerce becomes organized power. Grand squares rise, yet bridges choke with people. Wealth flows faster, but risk flows deeper. From docks to exchanges, every system tightens. London looks confident. London feels unstoppable. London is not. The same forces from the 1600s remain, but now they operate at terrifying scale. This is not a new city. It is the same machine, running faster than the people inside can endure. This is not a new city. It is the same machine, running faster than the people inside can endure. And every machine needs a power source. In 18th century London, that power begins at the river. London in the mid-18th century was a city defined by scale. From the eastern approach along the River Thames, the metropolis revealed docks, warehouses, spires, and crowded streets pressed tightly together. By this period, London's population had exceeded 500,000 people. It was among the largest cities in the world. The river functioned as the city's primary artery. Goods, labor, and authority moved constantly along its surface. Ships from across the British Empire crowded the water. They carried sugar, tobacco, timber, textiles, and manufactured goods. The skyline showed transition rather than harmony. Medieval structures stood beside newer Georgian buildings. London was not a planned capital. It expanded through necessity and opportunity. Wealth clustered near the riverbanks. Pressure accumulated deeper inland. From this vantage, the city appears prosperous and unstoppable. Yet beneath the movement lay congestion, inequality, and strain, forces that would shape every district further upstream. Moving west along the River Thames, London's reconstructed identity becomes unmistakable. Rising above surrounding rooftops stands St. Paul's Cathedral, completed in 1710 after the Great Fire of 1666 destroyed much of the medieval city. Designed by Christopher Wren, the cathedral embodied order imposed upon catastrophe. Its classical dome projected authority, stability, and spiritual legitimacy across the capital. Seen from the river, St. Paul's communicated power outward. Merchants, sailors, and visitors encountered it as a signal of renewal. Rebuilt streets nearby followed wider plans than the narrow lanes they replaced. Yet, reconstruction did not resolve social strain. Population growth intensified pressure on housing and labor. Rents rose, crowding increased. Below the cathedral's calm silhouette, daily life remained difficult and uneven. St. Paul's symbolized aspiration rather than comfort. As trade expanded and wealth flowed westward, contrasts sharpened. Monumental architecture stood above persistent hardship. This tension defined the city as it stretched onward, carrying prosperity beside instability deeper into its streets. Despite architectural renewal upriver, London remained bound to its medieval infrastructure. Old London Bridge still spanned the Thames, crowded with houses, shops, and narrow passageways. For centuries, the bridge functioned as crossing and marketplace combined. By the 18th century, it had become a severe bottleneck. Carts, pedestrians, animals, and goods pressed through confined space daily. Below, boats struggled against the river's current and stone arches. The bridge resisted modernization. Its form reflected continuity rather than efficiency. Fires, structural decay, and congestion were constant threats. Yet commerce continued uninterrupted. Old London Bridge linked the financial districts north of the river with workshops and labor south of it. It embodied coexistence between past and present. London expanded without fully replacing inherited structures. Progress arrived unevenly. This persistence of older forms shaped the city's rhythm. Movement slowed. Density increased. The bridge reveals how London grew by layering change rather than erasing it, a pattern extending toward the maritime threshold downstream. As the Thames curves southeast, London's maritime character comes into focus. Greenwich marked the boundary between urban density and oceanic reach. Along the riverbank rose Greenwich Hospital, completed in 1751. Its monumental design honored retired naval seamen. Created by Christopher Wren and Nicholas Hawksmoor, the complex projected authority through symmetry and scale. It was a declaration of naval dominance, not charity. Every ship approaching London passed this architectural statement. Arrival and departure occurred under its watch. Greenwich functioned as a gateway. Here, imperial trade met state power. The river widened, allowing fleets to gather. Navigation, discipline, and hierarchy converged. Greenwich was not peripheral. It was strategic. From the water, the hospital's facades framed London as a maritime capital. Beyond them stretched the city's vast interior, increasingly dependent on measurement, observation, and control. This shoreline demanded elevated perspective. Understanding London required distance, a need fulfilled from the heights rising immediately behind it. From Greenwich Park, London appears ordered and intelligible. The elevated viewpoint offered rare clarity over a sprawling metropolis. Docks, spires, streets, and the winding Thames spread across the landscape. Patterns replaced congestion. Although the prime meridian would be established later, Greenwich already symbolized measurement and navigation. Observation itself became power. Viewing London from above suggested mastery over space and distance, essential qualities for an expanding empire. The Queen's House and Hospital anchored the foreground. They represented discipline and alignment. Beyond them, the city unfolded irregularly. Growth had not followed geometry. This perspective transformed London into an object, something to be surveyed, planned, and administered. Maps, calculations, and records gained importance. Control shifted from walls to knowledge. Yet this calm overview concealed daily pressure below. Descending from the park returned observers to hierarchy, competition, and crowding. The elevated vision promised order. The ground-level reality resisted it. That contradiction defined London's lived experience as it moved westward into its fashionable districts. Leicester Fields represented refinement within London's expanding West End. Once open farmland, it developed into a fashionable residential square. Leicester House anchored the space, later housing royal figures. By the mid-18th century, artists and intellectuals gathered nearby. William Hogarth lived and worked here. Joshua Reynolds established his portrait studio close by. The equestrian statue of King George V reinforced royal presence. Culture, prestige, and power converged in measured harmony. Yet exclusivity proved fragile. Property values rose. Tastes shifted. Aristocratic residents gradually relocated. Public life expanded into the square. Leicester Fields transitioned from private residence to cultural destination. Entertainment replaced enclosure. This change reflected London's fluid hierarchy. Status migrated as quickly as capital. While the West refined itself, the mechanisms of authority remained fixed closer to the river. Control did not follow fashion. It remained embedded in stone, discipline, and long-established institutions downstream. Seen from the river, the Tower of London dominated its surroundings. For more than 7 centuries, it controlled access to the city. The White Tower, begun in 1078 by William the Conqueror, formed its core. Norman authority remained visible in stone. By the 18th century, the complex served multiple functions. It was fortress, prison, armory, mint, and treasury. Prisoners arrived by barge through Traitors' Gate. Execution often followed imprisonment. The tower's river frontage reinforced surveillance. Trade passed under constant observation. Unlike fashionable squares, the tower resisted transformation. It did not adapt. Its permanence embodied coercive stability, power enforced rather than negotiated. While culture and finance evolved elsewhere, the tower remained unchanged. Security anchored commerce. This proximity revealed how prosperity depended upon control. The city's wealth moved freely only within boundaries maintained by force. Upstream, that relationship took a more refined form inside London's financial heart. At the Royal Exchange, London's global ambition became audible and visible. Founded in 1565 by Thomas Gresham, it served as England's first purpose-built trading center. Modeled after the Antwerp Bourse, the exchange hosted merchants twice daily. A bell marked the beginning of trade. Languages overlapped, contracts formed, risks circulated. Bills of exchange changed hands, quills scratched across parchment. Within its galleries, shops sold maps, books, and luxury goods. Lloyd's of London insured ships and cargo here. Commerce transformed into system. Wealth became abstracted from physical labor. The exchange organized uncertainty. It standardized trust. From this space, London expanded financially across the globe. Yet, profit demanded social order. Fortunes generated here sought permanence elsewhere. Money translated into property, status, and distance from risk. That translation reshaped the city's most exclusive neighborhoods, where power refined itself spatially. St. James's Square concentrated elite authority within controlled urban space. Developed in the 1660s, it attracted nobles, ministers, and courtiers. Residences competed in scale and restraint. Influence mattered more than display. In the 1720s, Charles Bridgeman redesigned the square. Symmetry replaced disorder. A central basin and ornamental obelisks imposed balance. Elegance signaled permanence. Here, power withdrew from the street. Privacy became privilege. The square embodied exclusion. Access defined status. Yet, stability proved temporary. Aristocratic households gradually departed. Clubs, offices, and institutions replaced private residences. Social authority adapted to economic reality. The square's evolution mirrored London's spatial redistribution. Power shifted form without disappearing. As elites retreated indoors, the city's commercial energy surged outside. True vitality moved elsewhere, returning attention to the streets where exchange never paused and identity remained audible. Cheapside formed the commercial heart of everyday London. Its name derived from the Old English word for marketplace. For centuries, trade defined this street. By the 18th century, it ranked among the world's most valuable retail districts. Shops sold silks, spices, jewelry, and books. Merchants built fortunes, transaction by transaction. Rising above the street stood St. Mary le Bow. Rebuilt by Christopher Wren after the Great Fire, its bells defined Cockney identity. Anyone born within their sound claimed belonging. Commerce and community intertwined here. Unlike enclosed squares or arcaded exchanges, Cheapside never rested. Movement remained constant. This street embodied lived experience. Labor, ambition, noise, and survival converged daily. Ending here reveals London not as monument, but as mechanism. All forces encountered before flowed through this corridor repeatedly. Growth depended on repetition. Contradiction accumulated quietly. The city endured because its streets never stopped working.